In a city that never sleeps, where neon lights flicker endlessly and crowds move like waves through concrete streets, Zara often feels invisible, like a ghost drifting through millions of lives that never truly notice her. From the outside, her life looks perfect: stylish outfits, rooftop dinners, glowing selfies that gather likes within seconds. But behind every carefully curated post lies a quiet emptiness she has learned to hide. She lives in a high-rise apartment overlooking a breathtaking skyline, yet no one notices when her lights stay off for days, when silence fills her space more than laughter ever does. Every day at work, surrounded by confident, fashionable colleagues, she plays her role well, smiling at jokes, nodding at conversations, blending into a world that feels just slightly out of reach. Conversations about love, weekend plans, and dreams float around her, but no one asks what keeps her awake at night, staring at the ceiling while her thoughts grow louder than the city below. She scrolls endlessly through social media, watching others laugh, travel, fall in love, wondering why connection feels so effortless for everyone else and so distant for her. But deep down, she begins to question whether what she sees is real or simply an illusion everyone agrees to believe in. One evening, she decides not to attend another party invitation. Instead of pretending, she chooses silence, and for the first time, she truly listens to herself. At first, the quiet feels uncomfortable, almost unfamiliar, like meeting a stranger she has avoided for years. But slowly, something shifts. She begins noticing small details: the warmth of sunlight through her window, the rhythm of footsteps on the street, the calm and simply existing without expectation. She visits a cafe alone, not to escape, but to observe, to sit with her thoughts without distraction. When a stranger smiles at her, she hesitates, then returns the smile, and in that fleeting moment, something softens inside her. It's small, almost insignificant, yet it feels more real than the endless digital interactions she once relied on. She begins journaling, pouring out thoughts she never dared to speak, uncovering fears of rejection, longing for connection, and a quiet hope she thought she had lost. With every page, she realizes she spent years trying to fit into spaces that never truly felt like home, forgetting to ask herself where she actually belonged. Gradually, Zara begins to change. She speaks more honestly, even when her voice trembles. Not everyone listens, but someone does. And that one genuine connection feels stronger than 1,000 shallow conversations. She learns that connection isn't about being surrounded by people. It's about being real with the right ones, even if they are few. She stops comparing her life to others and starts embracing moments as they come, without measuring them against perfection. The city remains loud, chaotic, and fast, but she no longer feels lost inside it. Instead, she begins to find her own rhythm, her own space within the noise. She opens up to a coworker one afternoon, sharing pieces of herself she once kept hidden, expecting distance but finding understanding instead. Slowly, walls begin to fall. Conversations grow deeper. Laughter becomes genuine, and the city that once felt cold begins to feel a little warmer. Zara realizes that loneliness was never just about being alone. It was about feeling unseen, unheard, and disconnected from herself. As she reconnects with her own thoughts, her own emotions, and her own truth, the weight she carried begins to lift. It doesn't disappear overnight, but it transforms into something softer, something she can understand rather than fear. She starts reaching out more, sending messages, accepting invitations, but this time without pretending, without wearing a mask. And in doing so, she discovers that people respond not to perfection, but to authenticity. The more real she becomes, the more the world seems to open up around her. One evening, standing on her rooftop as the sun sets behind the skyline, Zara reflects on how far she has come. The city is still crowded, still loud, still overwhelming, but she no longer feels invisible within it. It understands now that being seen begins with seeing yourself, that connection starts from within before it can exist with others. And maybe, just maybe, the world was never as distant as it once felt. Maybe all it ever needed was the courage to reach out, to be vulnerable, to be real. In a crowded world, Zara finally finds something she had been searching for all along, not the presence of others, but the presence of herself. And in that discovery, she is no longer alone.